Moving our bodies is essential to healthy living, but how we move differs from place to place and across cultures. My name is Hayley Bone, and I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. The more I learned about dance, the more curious I became about the power of expressive movement. On this show, we'll highlight some of the various styles of dance and movement that Nova Scotians engage with, from Highland dance to hip-hop, circus, and more. We'll also get to see how these expressive movement styles support our communities, as well as their individual emotional and physiological benefits. So come with me as I travel across Nova Scotia to explore the ways we move. My journey this week takes me to Truro to visit Cobequid Dance Academy, one of the more than 70 dance schools in Nova Scotia. My guest is Melissa Page-Webster, owner and director of Cobequid Dance Academy. Melissa is a registered teacher with the Royal Academy of Dance, a director on the board of Dance Nova Scotia, and in 2018, she co-founded Kick Talk Dance Productions to help bring art and dance to her local community. This trip feels like a bit of a homecoming for me, as I once had the opportunity to teach here. So I'm super excited to be back, where I'll be speaking to Melissa about the dynamics of running a dance school and all things ballet. Truro is teeming with dancers, and many of them congregate here at Cobequid Dance Academy, where I once had the honor of teaching. I'm back again today to find out what it takes to run a dance school like this one and to explore the styles of ballet and modern dance. And I'm so excited to talk to Melissa again. So, Melissa, why don't you start and just tell me a little bit about like your journey with dance and how you started dancing.
Okay, I started dancing when I was 3, and I am not 3 anymore.
I also started when I was 3.
Did you?
It's like the magic number.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I actually started at Halifax Dance, and I was there until I was, I think, 11 or so. I did a little bit of time dancing at Maritime Dance Academy, which is where I met actually Suzanne Choi. I got to meet her there, and then we moved to Truro. And so when I moved here, I danced for a little bit just at the YMCA. There wasn't really an official like dance studio here.
Okay.
But there was a teacher who traveled in to Truro and taught like once or twice a week. And then my grade 9 year, so 1994.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the whole history.
That's perfect.
So in 1994, a woman named Margot Bejen moved here and started Truro Dance Academy, and that's where I danced until, till like I graduated high school, took some time away, didn't dance for a couple of years, and then came back to it and started teaching in 2000.
After being trained at Truro Dance Academy, Melissa left to create her own dance studio, and Cobequid Dance Academy was born.
Essentially, where Truro Dance Academy was, we got to a point where the program really couldn't continue growing. So there was sort of a cutoff, if you want to say that. And so I started fresh. Margot came with me. So in terms of the, essentially the guts of the programming, that was consistent, but we moved to a brand new space. The name is different.
So you
the ownership is mine. Yeah, so
started fresh and
started fresh. So Cobequid Dance Academy is its own thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the faculty came.
So what do you teach at CDA? What does CDA offer?
So we offer everything, mostly.
Yeah.
Ballet, jazz, modern, tap, hip hop, musical theater, lyrical, like early childhood movement, parent and taught. And I teach Mostly ballet. I teach one jazz class,
Okay.
but yeah.
So your like teaching interest lies mostly in ballet?
Mostly, but also that's kind of where things have sort of evolved too.
Cobequid Dance Academy offers an array of artistic movement styles, along with dance classes for the earliest learners. Its North Star, however, is ballet, and it provides classes that prepare dancers for the exams held by the prestigious Royal Academy of Dance.
Students can come here and they can take ballet more what I would consider to be recreationally, so once or twice a week. You know, there's no assessment attached to that or exam or anything like that, and they get to perform in the recital at the end of the year. So it's a very sort of, at your own pace kind of programming. And then our exam prep program starts at the grade 2 RAD level, which is for us pretty much grade 2 in school.
Okay.
Really everyone who teaches ballet here follows the RAD work, just so that at any point, any child that wants to come into the exam prep program doesn't have to sort of like reorient exactly. Yeah.
So you have the exam prep program,
Yep.
and you teach the RAD, which is like, so Royal Academy of Dance, ballet, so it's like a British.
It's a British system. It's the largest examining body for dance in the world, which is amazing.
And you're a registered teacher with
I am a
RAD?
registered teacher, yes. So I am allowed to teach the work, and I'm allowed to put students into exams. And we do have teachers on faculty that are trained in the RAD work, so they also work with the students in the exam prep program.
Many of the faculty members at Cobequid Dance Academy are trained under the Royal Academy of Dance, and most of their students are enrolled in the studio's exam prep program, which is extremely rewarding for those involved.
It gives the students a chance to set a goal, and I really feel that having that motivation really gives them the discipline to focus on their technique, focus on their artistic development, and it just really becomes something that is rewarding. We don't put a lot of emphasis on final marks, like exam marks here. It's more getting to the door to go into the exam. If you got to that point where you feel ready and you feel confident to go in, the rest is great. Like, that's for you, sort of thing. Yeah. So, and I do find that the kids in the program do advance and progress quickly, because it is intensive and it's a lot of dancing and it's a lot of focus on technique. Yeah.
Emma Purdy is a student at Cobequid Dance Academy who has reached the highest level in the Royal Academy of Dance program, and who will be traveling to Toronto to complete her solo seal exam. That's a really big accomplishment for you as a teacher and a director as well, to have a student at that level.
It's great. It's definitely a team effort. You know, Emma has more than one teacher here, and we've all contributed, but she works incredibly hard. And really, any of our dancers that get to Advanced 2 and take Advanced 2, like, they've really, really, really put in the time and the commitment. It takes a certain kind of drive and energy.
It's wonderful to see Melissa and the faculty at Cobequid Dance Academy nurturing such excellent dancers and supporting the young people in their community. I've traveled to Truro for this week's episode of The Ways We Move to speak with Melissa Page-Webster, founder of Cobequid Dance Academy. After discussing the various program offerings at the Academy, I got to see some of the students in action, and we chatted about some of their performances. In addition to doing these, you know, the technical preparation and the exams, your studio also does a lot of performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that sort of important to you to try and do both?
Well, mostly because that's the end goal, right?
Yeah.
We're training them to hopefully want to go on to try to have a professional career, and if they have a professional career, they need to be on stage. So,
yeah.
you know, so giving the kids lots of stage time and performance opportunities is definitely valuable. We do a number of performances through the year, and it starts with our Nutcracker auditions at the end of August.
Okay.
And really the first part of our year is spent mostly focused on Nutcracker. And because our studio, where we're located in Colchester County, we do get a lot of students from, you know, outside of Truro, outside of Bible Hill, which is kind of the main area. So we have students from Great Village, Bass River, Hilden, Brookfield, like all of the surrounding areas. We've even had students that come over from Pictou County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so so Nutcracker kind of becomes a big deal for these kids too, because for some of them who don't live right in the community, it's a chance to perform for somebody other than their parents, right? So yeah, we do Nutcracker, and we get audience members from all over, which is really nice. It is an audition process, so it doesn't involve the whole school. Even auditions are open to the whole school, but we usually have a cast between 60 and 80 students. So that happens first in the year, and then in February, we do what's called our Development Weekend.
Development Weekend is a 4-day intensive workshop featuring guest teachers from organizations like Canada's National Ballet School and the School of Toronto Dance Theatre. The goal is to broaden the students' exposure to various elements of the dance industry.
Just to give the kids a chance to listen to somebody else, make those connections. And we run a program called On the Verge. And so this is for students who want to be able to present their own choreography. They also have to set their lights, like know how to do sort of the production and tech side of things. They have to be vocal about it and speak to the lighting person. And yeah, it's a really, really, really fun process for them to go through. So it's a show we do like March, April-ish, but Development Weekend kind of was born out of trying to give these students a mentorship opportunity where they could have someone that's not on faculty look at the piece that they're developing, give them feedback. And so those two are kind of woven together. We have a young company, which is by audition, and they do a number of things throughout the year. Like we usually do our annual hospital gala, they perform at that. They've performed at, oh my goodness, all sorts of community events.
And so what sort of role does Cobequid Dance Academy play in the like Truro and wider community?
So yeah, I think we've become a bit of a hub. Like the kids come and hang out in between classes. Like they don't have to be here. They could go do other things.
Right, you said you have a dancer that's here rehearsing.
Yeah, she's on her free period.
Yeah, from school.
And she's here. And that is really common for us, for high school kids to come here on their break. But even just like, there's kids that even if they don't have dance class on the day that they're here, they come and they spend time here. We've got a few like other arts organizations that use our space. There's a choir that uses our space. It's called Creative Voices Choir. And, we have Mini Musicians, which is a program aimed at like very young, so like a Baby and Me kind of music program.
In addition to teaching dance classes, Cobequid Dance Academy aims to encourage access to various forms of art in their community by providing their space to other artistic organizations. Melissa also runs Center Stage Dancewear, a dance and active lifestyle boutique in Truro. How many of your students go on to pursue dance or performing arts like after high school?
We have what I would say to be quite a high number, considering we are in a rural community.
Right.
You know, taking the non-traditional route is, you know, scary, and
By the non-traditional route, you mean
Like just go to university.
right,
and
that would be the traditional route, but pursuing something like dance.
Yeah, which you can do in a
Yeah.
university, and that's definitely explored. But when you get into, you know, a more specialized training program, let's say like the School of Toronto Dance Theatre or Alvin Ailey or something like that, that requires you to potentially have to live on your own. So there isn't necessarily residence connected to that. They tend to be shorter programs because they are more specialized, more intense. So it's maybe 2 or 3 years versus 4 years.
Right.
And then it's like, you know, in 2 years you're going to be out in the world and have to find a job. But what I think is really special is kids here don't feel that that's out of reach. So they are auditioning, they are submitting applications. And the more we have students doing this, the more the younger kids are going, oh yeah, like, yeah, I'm totally gonna dance after high school. Like that's, yeah, it's easy. So-and-so did it, and I can do it.
It's really, I think, exciting that so many of your students feel that that's accessible to them, feel that, and then the more do it, the more accessible it becomes to younger dancers.
And a lot of our faculty took that route, obviously, so, and that's why they do what they do. A lot of us still work professionally, and are either as choreographers or dancers or both. And so we're immersed in the community, which also helps them see that you don't have to live away in order to be successful and do what you love. Like, there is room for that in this province, and I think that's amazing.
I know you also work professionally as a dancer and as a choreographer.
And that can be challenging just, with everything else, but it's been something that's remained really important to me. I was fortunate last week to participate in votive dances per residency. I did it last year as a choreographer and this year as a dancer, and that was fantastic. And just having that ability to stay connected to the Halifax dance community, you know, with here.
Why do you think it's like important for you as a dance educator to stay active in your own artistic practice?
Oh man, because you've got to be able to practice what you preach a little bit, right? And also, if I don't know what's going on in the broader dance community, then I don't know how I'm to prepare my students, right? Like there needs to be that connection, there needs to be that level of understanding of here's what companies are looking for, here's what post-secondary programs are looking for.
It's clear from speaking with Melissa that she cares deeply about her community and her students, and is a beacon of support for people who wish to follow their dancing dreams in their home province of Nova Scotia. I can't wait to see some of her current students in their element. I've traveled to Truro for this week's episode of The Ways We Move to speak with Melissa Page-Webster, founder of Cobequid Dance Academy. After discussing the various program offerings at the Academy, I got to see some of the students in action, and we chatted about some of their performances. So Melissa, you do a Nutcracker every year at your school.
We do, and we've been so lucky to work with a phenomenal photographer named Johanna, who has created these lovely posters for us. We don't have 2014, but we have 2015. But as you can see, for 2 of the years, we did a Nova Scotian themed Nutcracker, which was really fun. So sort of the iconic dances in the second act were like changed to be like lobsters or like very Nova Scotian-y things. And then the next 2 years we did more of a 1920s inspired, actually the next 3 years we did more of a 1920s inspired performance. And then this past December, which is the last poster, we did back to sort of the classic telling of the Nutcracker. Yeah.
Because the Nutcracker is like a very traditional classical ballet.
Exactly.
Almost every company in the world does a Nutcracker.
Yeah. Yep.
Every year, so it's cool that you sort of did different spins on it.
Yeah, it makes it fun.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting, keeps it fresh for us choreographically. So yeah.
And you have these are your dancers on the poster.
Yeah, and we actually have, there's quite a few of these dancers that are actually in rehearsal right now. If you wanted to see them do some dancing in real life.
It has been so wonderful to be back at Cobequid Dance Academy today. Melissa and her faculty are doing some amazing things with their students and in the community of Truro. The visit reminded me of why I love ballet so much, and I wanted to express that in some new choreography, including some of my favorite steps. Thanks so much for joining me to learn about what takes place inside the walls of a ballet studio, and be sure to join me next week to explore more of the ways we move. It's been such a blast returning to Cobequid Dance Academy here in Truro, Nova Scotia, where I used to teach. I really enjoyed talking to my friend Melissa Page-Webster about what she and her students are getting up to, including senior dancer Emma Purdy, who's on her way to Toronto for her Royal Academy of Dance Solo Seal examination. I loved watching the dancers rehearse for their upcoming show, and it definitely made me feel nostalgic for my own time here in the studio.